Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm sorry if it's super loud in here. The AC in my room is broken and so I have 3 fans going on right now because I'm sweating. I couldn't turn them off, I can't. Today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book tag. I have piles and piles of books next to me and I have all of the questions on my phone. So far I have read 36 books this year, which is not where I want to be. I got a puppy, I'm in a reading slump. So it's better than nothing, but it's really just not where I want to be right now. Okay, let's just quickly jump into the tag questions. So the first question is, the best book you've read so far in 2026. Cursed Fates, which is the 5th book in the Zodiac Academy series. I gave this book 5 stars. This book emotionally wrecked me. I'm obsessed with it. I have not picked up this series since I finished this book a couple months ago, but this was so good. Frustrating, but so good. And this is my only 5-star this year. The worst book you've read so far this year. So the worst book I read was actually a novella. It's second act romance. It was part of the short story collection that Amazon does a lot of the time, and this was the Valentine's Day collection for this year. I don't even remember who it's by. I don't remember anything about it. All I know is that I gave it 1 star. It was very forgettable, and I basically forced myself to finish it. The best sequel you've read so far in 2026, so not including Cursed Fates, because I'm trying to keep the answers a little bit different. I'm gonna say The Night Prince by Lauren Pal Freeman. This is the 2nd book after The Wolf King, and I really enjoyed this book. I cannot wait for the 3rd book in the series. This is a wolf shifter romantasy book, and the 2nd book actually turns into a love triangle, which I was not expecting to completely jump teams, but I did. The worst sequel you've read so far would have to be The Annihilator by Runix. This is I think the 5th book in the Darkverse series. This whole series is like a fun dark romance mafia series. This book in particular though was very forgettable. From what I remember, I think it was like an obsession type of story, but I just didn't love the way that it was done. And I was very bored and I didn't love the romance in this book. I think there was like a lot of spice with no substance, which happens a lot in dark romances, but it just wasn't done well in this book for me. From what I remember, I read this in the beginning of the year and I really don't remember anything about it. I don't even remember our main characters' names in this book. No recollection. A new release you haven't read yet but want to. I have a bunch of these. First, The Winged Game just came out. I heard this is like a sports romantasy, which sounds very interesting. And I got the cool one with the sprayed edges. Oh my god, cool. Are these griffins? Sick. If you can hear noises in the background, also that's Miss Daisy playing with her chew toy. So, The Thorn Queen by Sasha Payton Smith. This is the 2nd book after The Rose Bargain. I really like The Rose Bargain. I just have not gotten around to reading this. This is what happens. A new release comes out that I cannot wait for, and I pre-order it. It comes to my door. I'm so excited about it, and then it takes me forever to read it. I don't know what that's about. Same thing for Lightwielder by Rachel Schneider. This is the 2nd book after Metal Slinger. I was going to start this, but I've seen such bad reviews for this book. I'm so scared. And also, there's like a time jump between the 1st and the 2nd book, which I don't love because the 1st book ended on such a cliffhanger, and now we're just 4 years in the future. Don't love that. And the last book for this question is The Someday Garden by Ashley Poston. She writes magical realism romance books, and I think this is about like a magical garden. I read a few books by her. I really enjoyed The 7-Year Slip and Sounds Like Love. I didn't read The Dead Romantics, and I didn't love A Novel Love Story, so I wonder how this is gonna go. The most anticipated release for the 2nd half of the year. First we have Daybreak by Autumn Woods. This actually comes out at the end of this month. This is the 2nd book after Nightshade. This is kind of like a genre bending type of book. It gives off gothic dark romance vibes, and it's an academy setting, but it gives off like fantasy vibes, but it's not fantasy. It was very interesting. The Mirror of Infinite Fates by Stephanie Garber. This is like a spin-off book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. I'm nervous for that book. The Witch by Frida McFadden. Frida McFadden books are just so easy, and I read all of her thrillers. I only have not read her medical dramas, so I need a new thriller from her. My biggest disappointment. The 2 books I have for this question I did enjoy them. I just thought they were gonna be 5 stars, out of this world type of reads for me, and they weren't. They were still good, just not legendary. First we have The Correspondent. This is written entirely in emails and letters, and I really did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. I just thought it was gonna be like 5 or even 6 stars because of how everyone else was talking about it. I still did really enjoy it, but was a little bit disappointed that it wasn't 5 stars for me. And same goes for Fever Dream. This is the start of Elsie Silver's new romance series. I gave it 3.5 stars, which is low for an Elsie Silver book for me. This took me a very long time to read because I was in a slump and I just was expecting to like it more than I did. It was just okay, not terrible, but not fantastic, and I thought it was gonna be like at least 4 stars, and it wasn't. Then we have my biggest surprise. So first we have Caught Up by Liz Tomford. I gave this 4.5 stars. This was surprising for me because I did enjoy the first 2 books in the series, but I didn't love them, and I really loved this book while I was reading it. I didn't have anything that was crazy surprising, so this is what I could come up with for this question. And then Zodiac Academy Book 4, Shadow Princess. I love this book. I gave it 4.5 stars. I guess it was surprising because I thought that I would be so bored considering how long this book is, and the books in the series just keep getting longer and longer. There were a couple of lulls in this book, but overall it was just so incredible, and the ending, if you know, was so freaking frustrating, but it was crazy. It was so good. A favorite new author, debut, or new to you. So this year I haven't read from any like new authors that I was blown away by, so I had to cheat a little bit with this one, but I really enjoy Catherine Cowell's writing. I think I read 3 of her books this year, maybe 4, something like that, and they're not insanely legendary, but they're just so fun, quick, easy romantic suspenses, and I just enjoy them. Your newest fictional crush. So it takes a lot for me to get blown away by a book man, so there's only one new addition to this list, and that is Blake from The Night Prince. I was obsessed with him in this book. I didn't love him in The Wolf King, but I loved him in The Night Prince. Oh my god. And then my 2 carryovers from last year, Darius Acrux from Zodiac Academy and Lance Orion from Zodiac Academy. They kind of switch back and forth in my top spots, but after the 5th book, Darius is my favorite. I'm mad at Lance, but it's okay. I still love them. Oh my god, they're great. A book that made you cry. So I had a few that made me cry, but I picked Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. The ending of this book was very emotional and made me cry. Not sobbing, but tears were shed. A book that made you happy, In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams. This is the 4th book in her When in Rome series. This was just like a giggly fun time, and I really enjoyed it. I read this in the beginning of the year, so I don't remember a lot about it, but I just remember that I loved their banter, and it was really cute. And we have been waiting for this relationship since kind of the first book in the series. Does she have to scratch right now? Apparently. But yeah, I really like this one. The most beautiful book you bought or received this year. I had Fairy Loot for a couple of months this year, so those are just an obvious answer. So I picked a few of my favorites. We have The Sun and the Star Maker with the sprayed edges. This is the naked hardcover. It's actually stunning. Oh, the end pages are different on this side. I really like that one. I like their blue ones. Those are really cool. You're gonna see all the ones I picked are bluish, purplish. Starside by Alex Astor. The naked hardcover. I have not read any of these yet, so. And then The Last Starborn Seer. And then for not a Fairy Loot version, I picked the Grimm and Oro novellas. It's very cool. You have Grimm this way, and then you flip it and you have Oro. I have not read Lightlark, but still. You take it out of the box and you have Grimm side. And then you flip it and you have Oro. forgot which order she says to read it in. I think Oro first. I don't know. You read it and then they meet in the middle and then you have to flip it over. It's very cool. Which books do you need to read by the end of the year? Literally everything on my TBR, but some of the books that I hope to have gotten to by this point and I have not. Heated Rivalry. Everyone has been talking about this. Everyone has been talking about the show and I bought it and have not read it yet. I feel like that's just what I always say. To Cage a Wild Bird. I think this is a dystopian romance, something like that. And then this book has been on my TBR for I think 5 years. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I have not read this book because it is so intimidating to me, but I put it on my yearly TBR so that hopefully I will get to it this year, but it's not looking promising. I have had no desire to pick this book up. I just know that it's so slow in the beginning and I'm not down. Please convince me to read this. Which books do you want to reread this year? So I am not a rereader. I don't like to reread books because I have so many books on my physical TBR, but if I had to reread, I would say The Wolf King and The Night Prince in order to prepare for the third book coming out. I think it was supposed to come out at the end of the year, but now it's been pushed to next year, which is very annoying, but it's okay. And then I would love to reread Metal Slinger before I read Lightwielder. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I would love to reread this book. Books that you have been putting off. Literally every single chunky book, every single fantasy book. I'm just so intimidated by them. So let's just rapid fire through some of the ones I pulled from my shelves. Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iriu. I've been pushing this off forever. A Court of Wings and Ruin. I've been pushing this off just because it's so freaking large. Direbound for the same reason. Is this on my yearly TBR? The fact that I don't even remember. Saving Sex by Chloe Walsh. It's a chunker and I just know that it will emotionally destroy me and I'm scared. And then I've been putting this book off for probably 1.5 years since it came out. Onyx Storm. Especially because we don't know when the next book is coming out, but I'm scared for this one. A book you enjoyed with mixed reviews. My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. I've seen very mixed reviews on this book, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. I gave it 4 stars. Wasn't fantastic, amazing, legendary, but I did enjoy it. A book series you want to finish by the end of the year. I'm in the middle of so many series, so I picked books where I only have 1 or 2 books left in the series, so hopefully I will finish them by the end of the year. I want to finish the Powerless trilogy. I have Fearless and Fearful left. The Windy City series, I have Play Along and Rewind It Back left. Part of Your Worlds, I just have Just for the Summer left. And then the Gold Rush Ranch series, I have the last 2 books. I forgot what they're called. So I would love to finish those series. 5-star predictions for the rest of the year. I don't give 5 stars very often. You really have to blow me away and I have to be so engulfed in the story. So I really don't know, but I hope that I will give another Zodiac Academy book 5 stars. I hope. Then Wild Reverence by Rebecca Ross. This is in the same world as Divine Rivals, which I loved, and I gave that book 5 stars. So I'm hoping that this book will also be 5 stars, but we'll see. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I gave Part of Your World and yours truly both 4 stars, so I hope this one will blow me away. And then The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I have heard incredible things about this. I think it's primarily a mystery thriller, but it seems that there's a lot more to it. It's just so long for a mystery, I don't understand. Okay, just 2 questions left. Do you think you will reach your reading goal or are you going to change it? So, every single year I make my reading goal how many books I read the previous year. So last year I read 94 books, so my goal this year was 94. I do not think I'm going to reach it, and I have already changed it to 60. If I make it anywhere near 94, I'll be happy, but I just have to be realistic, and it's more about quality of the books I read, so I hope to find really good reads. I'm a little bit disappointed because for the past couple of years, every single year I have surpassed the amount of books that I read the previous year, but it's okay. Last but not least, any new goals for the rest of the year? So my goal is to get my TBR down. It's in the 500s. It's not okay. It's absolutely crazy. I want to read more books that scare me, so more fantasies, more chunky books, and I want to find more good quality 5-star reads. Even 4 and 4.5 stars I'll be happy with, because I feel like lately I've had a lot of 3 stars, 3.5 stars, and nothing has been blowing me away. and I'm getting frustrated. All right, that is all for the tag questions. I think I'm going to do a quick rapid fire run through of all the books I read so far this year, just the name of the book and what I rated it. Let's do this. Beautiful Exile by Catherine Cowles, I gave 3 stars. The Annihilator by Runix, I gave 3 stars. In Your Dreams by Sarah Adams, I gave 4 stars. The Wolf King by Lauren Palfreyman, I gave 4 stars. Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer, I gave 3.5 stars. Dear Debbie by Frida McFadden, I gave 3.5 stars. Accidentally Yours by Christina Lauren, I gave 3.5 stars. Time Will Tell by Hannah Bonham Young, I gave 2.5 stars. Second Act Romance by Julie Soto, I gave 1 star. A Play for Love by Trilina Pucci, I gave 2 stars. Death to Valentine's Day by Catherine Cowles, I gave 2.5 stars. The Swan's Daughter by Roshani Chokshi, I gave 3.5 stars. Don't Believe Her by Nicola Sanders, I gave 3.5 stars. The Correspondent by Virginia Evans, I gave 4 stars. All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles, I gave 4 stars. The Night Prince by Lauren Palfreyman, I gave 4 stars. My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney, I gave 4 stars. Shadow Princess by the Twisted Sisters, I gave 4.5 stars. Cursed Fates by the Twisted Sisters, I gave 5 stars. The Dinner Party by Frida McFadden, I gave 2.5 stars. Chasing Shelter by Catherine Cowles, I gave 3 stars. The Wife Upstairs by Frida McFadden, I gave 3 stars. Caught Up by Liz Tomford, I gave 4.5 stars. These 2 Zodiac Academy novellas, I gave this one 4 stars and this one 3 stars. Crossroads by Devney Perry, I gave 3 stars. The Half of It by Madison Beer, I gave no rating since it's a memoir. Ready or Not by Cara Bastone, I gave 3.5 stars. Everybody's Favorite Guy by Catherine Center, I gave 2.5 stars. You'll Miss Me When I'm Gone by A.R. Torr, I gave 3 stars. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, I gave 4 stars. Fever Dream by Elsie Silver, I gave 3.5 stars. Idol Burning by Rin Usami, I gave 2.5 stars. The Divorce by Frida McFadden, I gave 3 stars. The Score by Elle Kennedy, I gave 3.5 stars. And lastly, The Best Worst Thing by Lauren Oakey, I gave 4 stars. I am surrounded by books, I gotta put all these away. Anyways, that was my mid-year book tag and a quick wrap up of all of the books I've read so far this year. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.